morning, it's Saturday, the second day of Haldern 2008, and we're all sat here eating ice cream. I'm going to tell you what happened yesterday, isn't that right, Damien?
Yes.
We left off after we just left the Spiegel tent, and then we went to the main stage to see the Killians, who some people had said it sounds like the German Strokes, but we sort of modified that a wee bit by calling them the German Stereophonics. I think that's about as close as sort of, you know, four square solid dad rock come, you know, it's all very much like building the windows and making it all nice, blah 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 blah. Leave that metaphor, Richard. Anyway, the next band up was White Lies, who just turned out to be, I don't know, karaoke. Well, they were just the Cure. I mean, what's the point? What's the point of being to copy bands from way back? So much so they might as well just be, you know, a tribute act. Yeah, a tribute act. So we were bored by them, and it was very much like, ooh, you know, blah blah blah, plod. So we sort of, at that point, we decided to refresh ourselves and went to the tent. But luckily, we were dragged out of our torpor by Jack Pinati, who put on a very good show despite it pissing quite heavily in true Haldern style. So we enjoyed that. He's very.
But he brought the sun out. And at the end of his set, the sun was.
He also tried picking up his guitar.
Shiny, and everyone was happy.
Yeah, he was fun, and he made a good impression, didn't he? Really? I thought I enjoyed it. It's not my sort of music, but you know, he does the job. Well, hello, here we are again. We're in Norma, the supermarket. We're going to tell you a bit more about Haldern yesterday. We thought, well, where did we get to? We got to Joan as a policewoman. We should talk about Joan as a policewoman. She was huge hair, which had a lot of technical problems at the beginning.
Big hair.
And we were very worried because we'd seen her in Den Haag and it was a bit of a barroom show, and we thought nothing was going to be oh God, it's going to be blah blah blah, very straight down the line, sort of emotive singer-songwriter stuff, but she wasn't. She rocked out. She had huge hair, and she really gave it some, didn't she? Especially the last 2-3 tracks, she really came on a treat. We were really impressed by her, actually, weren't we? We thought it was very good.
We may buy some rat strop.
We also thought that after what was it coming out? It was Cooler Shaker. Yeah, Cooler Shaker was good. It was all very, you know.
I really didn't see the point in them. I don't know why they've reformed, apart from to come out and say,
to make money.
"Oh, do you still love me?"
They're just making money, and he had red trousers on as well.
Yes.
So we weren't happy.
He does pull some good rock star moves. He does. But
it's all very much.
And I didn't like the keyboardist Tash. I was afraid of it.
It was all very much a case of this is an identikit band. This is what you do as a band. Blah blah blah. I don't think there's very much emotion or anything. And
would you like some cracks?
We wish we left them behind. And after that was what came after that, James? Can you remember what came
Perhaps
after?
Perhaps a bag of fifth.
Damien, what came
after that was actually one of the biggest surprises of the festival. So that was the return of Guillemots, who we saw a couple of years ago here, and were one of the worst things we've ever seen.
They were dreadful.
They basically got rid of all the squealing weasels and
he looks a bit more like a rock star now. He doesn't look like some sort of smug kid who thinks he's very clever and he's
lost a couple of band members and suddenly became a really good band. They were brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Big sound. Great stage presence, completely different.
Yeah, totally redeemed.
We were really impressed by that. And then we went to the Spiegel tent, which is our
because the heavens opened once again.
Yep. We got
and then we ran into some guy called DJ St. Paul.
Yeah, who had to let him off, he played the Ramones, which is always a good thing. But to go to a disco dance and not have any Smiths or any
orange and egg liqueur,
eggnog. Or any Echo and the Bunnymen, for me, was very upsetting, so I wasn't very happy. But we did dance and we did enjoy that, and then after that, Mac, you're going to get attacked by a lady. After that, there was we stayed in the tent, and then we watched. Was it Nicky Leo first? Oh no, it was Gisbert zu Kniphausen,
who we like simply because he's called Gisbert,
and he was very good. He had a very friends of ours who are much more proficient in German were able to say, go away. Friends of ours who are much more proficient in German said that they had excellent lyrics, and I thought it was a good band. I thought they were great. I don't think it's going to.
I didn't understand a word he said. It was in German, but it was very good. And he's called Gisbert, so you've got to like him.
And then let's see. That's it. Yeah.
Anyway,
and then there was Kate Nash.
Yeah. Well, Yeah, Kate Nash was pretty disappointing, and I suppose it's apt that we're sitting in a graveyard because, to be honest, she pretty much died on stage for the first few songs. Everything around her was bigger and more professional than what we saw last year.
She's very charming in the tent, I thought, last year.
Yeah, it was a great gig last year. But this year, I mean, bigger band, bigger show. She had a name up in lights. Everyone was wearing smart suits around her. She had a guitar player named Breast, which entertained me briefly.
Named after the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, I think.
Yeah, it was just disappointing. She came out, she looked really nervous. She seemed really uncomfortable. She played a couple of songs behind the piano. Then she she stood up with a guitar, and she looked even less comfortable. And then it wasn't until kind of more than halfway through when she started to play the singles from the first album, and the crowd really started to get that you saw kind of lighting up. And the last few songs were okay, but basically I think it was
a damp squib. Would be.
Yeah, she missed an opportunity to really push home how good she is, and yeah.
I mean, I'm not a big fan, but you know, there is a place for that sort of thing, and I don't think the Haldern main stage is made for intimate singer-songwriter gigs. Really, I really don't think it works.
Well, no, I like her, and I thought she could have been really poppy and stuff, but just she blew it. I think basically, it's a shame.
Well, I think it's time we can now talk about Licky Lee, who was in the Spiegel tent just after Gisbert triumphantly exited stage left. Yeah, she was a very charming Swedish lady.
Bounced
a lot, and she had a sort of McLaren-esque bow wow wow vibe, lots of clattering and African tribal rhythms going on. And at one point I thought, oh, it's going to get all very clever. There's too much studious rock and this, that and the other at present. But she sort of brought it round and got stuck in big style, didn't she? She rocked out, she funked out pretty well. We were pretty impressed.
Yeah, the last two songs were
fantastic, weren't they?
The crowd were up for it, everyone was jumping up and down.
And she did that Can You Dig It thing, the walk on the wild side.
Yeah, she did a Tribe Called Quest cover, which
was
pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable, and I thought she was extremely good.
Yeah, I think round of applause for Licky Lee.
This is like some of the Beatles photo shoots from Rain and Paperback Writer. Did you know that? They're starting to feel like this, so I'm quite chuffed about that.
Either that or there's a child with a scythe coming after us right now.
What do you think about it? Boring. Anyway.
Okay, then Lonely Deer, who we saw here on the main stage last year, and it was very good. Basically one of the best things I've seen at the festival this year, and one of the best gigs I've seen in the Mirror tent for quite some time. He was superb. Yeah. The band were up for it. The audience, the atmosphere was electric.
Yeah, it was very nice. Everyone's singing. It's the usual Haldern communal thing, wasn't it? At that point, everyone's happy as Larry. And,
but audience participation, and he even had a proper comedy pitfall and fell on his arse and got a round of applause.
So,
it was brilliant.
So it was excellent. Elegiac stuff, and
then we turned all the lights off, and we had what's his name? Warren and the Club of Gore.
Oh yeah.
Who sounded like I wanted like this Kiss lookalike death metal band or something, like Gwar to come out and spray puke on everybody. And basically they turned all the lights off and turned out to be a really mellow, slow jazz band.
So
all we could see was the saxophone, and the drum kit was lit up and it looked like a skull. And I couldn't tell you anything about them because I couldn't see them. And they put everyone to sleep. So that was it.
That was it.
And that was the end of day 2. So we shall see you back here. Maybe sometime tomorrow or something. Yeah.
So, Geese, what did you think of Editors?